We got to talk about these lunatic leftists. They have absolutely gone off the deep end, and it is most definitely time for Pam Bondi and Kash Patel to really stamp this out because it is getting out of hand. And I've got a couple of videos that I want to show you guys that have gone absolutely viral over these last few days. So I won't do too much talking. With that being said, let's jump into this first clip that I have for you guys on the subway with a leftist confronting a Trump supporter. Let's dive in.
That's why he won. Because people like you. That's why he won. That is why he won, because of people like you who need to stop and let him live.
Bro, just chill, bro.
You're okay with that? He's a racist.
How can I be
He's
racist?
a racist.
Okay with it.
If you fucking voted for Trump, you're a racist.
Leave him alone.
He's a racist.
How can I be racist?
No, he's not. Leave him alone.
Doesn't watch the news.
You realize he wants to be
I'm
Democratic.
highly educated.
Oh, are you? Then why are you wearing that hat?
Everything's been going up for I don't know how long. The Democrats been running New York since who knows how long. But then Trump comes in and just fixes it.
Alright, well, this is my style. I hope you enjoy the hat.
Oh, she tried to attack her.
So as you saw there, and I love the gentleman in the background who basically tells her the truth. That's why Trump won. This is why Trump won. Like, leave us the fuck, excuse me, leave us alone. Leave us alone.
He won. Because people like you. That's why he won. That is why he won, because of people like you who need to stop and let him live.
Bro, just like,
You need to stop and let him live. Facts. Facts. And she got a taste of her own medicine here. Face planting. Bow. Definitely got a taste of her own medicine. Don't feel bad for her at all. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. And I said this leading up to the election, and I said don't be discouraged because you don't see Trump signs galore in certain places. There's a lot of Trump supporters who just want to be left alone, and we understand that we won't be left alone. So you just don't say anything. You don't put up any signs. You don't, put the bumper sticker on the car. You don't display anything that would let anyone know, hey, I'm a Trump supporter, because of course the left is deranged. And here's another clip of just that happening, and it is swatting now happening to conservative influencers. Check it out.
This morning, a growing number of conservative influencers are getting targeted by swatters. There have been at least a dozen incidents in recent days of bogus calls that draw police and first responders to the target's home, including the home of Erin Durham in North Carolina. She opened the door late at night to armed officers.
When I walked up to the door, he was pointing a gun at me, and obviously immediately stopped when he saw me. But it was a lot of confusion, a lot of fear. I felt like I was going to pass out most of the time that they were in the house.
This is so disturbing. The FBI and Department of Homeland Security are now investigating these incidents, and CNN Hadass Gold is joining me now. She is looking into them as well. What are you learning? Who is the target mainly, and how does this all go down?
So what we've seen is over the past 2 weeks, at least a dozen influencers have been targeted in these swattings, and not just swattings, they're also getting things like bogus pizza deliveries. Now, what we found commonality amongst all of these influencers is almost all of them have some sort of following on X. Almost all of them are pro-Trump. Many of them have interacted with actually Elon Musk, the owner of X. Some of them have millions of followers and are super well known, and some of them are some of these more smaller influencers. But again, almost all of them are pro-Trump. Many of them call themselves conservatives, and many of them have interacted with Elon Musk. Now, as you noted, swatting is very dangerous and it can be deadly. These callers will call in with bogus calls of people being shot, of a home invasion, of holding people hostage. It causes a huge response from police and emergency services, which draws them away from other actual emergencies. But if there's confusion, something could go wrong and something could go very wrong. So I actually spoke to two of these influencers. I spoke to Erin, who you just heard from, and to Larry Taunton. She's in North Carolina, he's in Alabama. Both got these swatting calls right around the same time, early early Sunday, right around 1 a.m. Both got bogus calls about that. They were pretending to be the homeowners, saying that they had been shot. There were other people had been shot, caused a big response. Here's what Larry said he experienced. Take a listen.
There were no sirens, no lights, no announcement, nothing. And he's trying the door handle. And I am crouched inside, armed. And I'm thinking, if that man comes through my door, I'm going to light him up, because you're just thinking somebody's here to murder me and my wife.
And what's really notable is a lot of these influencers are armed. They carry guns. And so many of them are saying this could have turned really bad because I thought somebody was robbing my home.
Breaking in.
Yeah, Aaron called it a cheap form of domestic terrorism. Now, the FBI and the DHS say that they are investigating this. The Secretary of Homeland Security is saying that under President Trump's leadership, we will not sit idly by as conservative new media and their families are being targeted by false swatting. She also said this is an attack on our law enforcement and innocent families, and will be prosecuted as such. But what makes this hard to investigate is the technology that these people use with the swatting. They spoof their phone numbers. A lot of them even use artificial intelligence to spoof the voices. But there have been prosecutions on this, and this is a very dangerous game that people are playing.
It is. It's really dangerous, and it puts a lot of people in a bad spot. The police and the people who are being swatted. It's disgusting. Someone is going to get hurt. Someone has gotten hurt. I remember this happening over video games.
Yes,
where someone got really hurt in all of
Yes,
this.
people have been killed.
And people have been killed.
Yeah, exactly.
This is an extremely dangerous game. It'll be interesting to see from the FBI if they're ever able to find who
and if there's any
behind it.
connections to the attacks we're seeing recently on Tesla dealerships, on the cyber attack that Elon Musk said happened on X, because there is this connection with Elon Musk here.
Yeah, all right.
There most definitely is a connection. And as you said, people have been pine boxed because of this. This is a very, very dangerous situation. I mean, just think about it. You wake up in the middle of the night, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you realize somebody is outside your house. You don't know who it is, what's going on. And in the case of that gentleman, you see your knob turning, your doorknob jiggling. I don't know about y'all, but like I get in defensive mode. All right, well, somebody's trying to get in here. Let me get my tool ready. You know what I mean? Like that's just. And just imagine there's an officer on the other side of that door just thinking, hey, I need to go here to save some folks because there's a tragedy that possibly happened at this residence. That is obviously a very, very dangerous situation. But for any influencers that may be watching, take some advice from Tim Pool, because it is absolutely fantastic advice on what you should be doing. Check this out.
If you're listening, you need to call your local police departments and give them your address. This is the first thing we did. We immediately told them what was up. We said, when I was living in Jersey, we did this. Walked right to the police station, said, here's my info, here's who I am. We're concerned about swattings, other false reports. Here, go for it, buddy. Like, here's our information. Here's my personal phone number. When it happened in Maryland, we were getting swatted. But understand, people assumed this meant they were kicking our doors in every time. That's not what was going on. Let me play the rest of this video, assuming it is still pertinent to the story.
Yeah. Give the police your information. Obviously, let them know you're concerned. So this type of stuff does not escalate to a situation where somebody has to be put 6 feet in the dirt, because that's ultimately what I think these people on the left want. I mean, you got police who are on high alert. I mean, because oftentimes, you know, the people that call in are dramatizing this and saying, oh my goodness, people are dead or dying and blah, blah, blah. You know, there's a huge emergency. So police are going there on high alert. You don't know what's going on, or the individual who is at the home doesn't know what's going on. They're just sleeping. You know, I don't know what happened. And all of a sudden they see people outside their house and doorknobs jiggling and all types of weird stuff. And, you know, things could get really, really confusing when both sides have firearms and nobody knows exactly what's going on, you know. But it doesn't stop there. There's another news report of a woman who was driving a Tesla. And you can guess what happened in this situation. Check it out.
Angry because she was driving a Tesla.
I was thankfully by myself.
Lee was on the way to a doctor's appointment in Linwood Wednesday morning when she says all of a sudden a driver behind her just laid on the horn as they came up to a red light. Things spiraled out of control when a white SUV followed her and cut her off, stopping in the middle of the road.
Gets out and walks straight up to my window. So I cracked my window and I said, what is the problem? And he goes, you need to sell your car. This is a Nazi car. You're driving it. You need to sell your car.
Lee says she's been driving a Tesla for the last 2 years. She says a man wearing a camouflage jacket and a ski mask attacked her for it.
It's really sad, like, that this is what's happening to people who, honestly, it doesn't affect how I believe or what I believe. Just the car I drive. Being in Seattle, it was climate's important, our footprint's important. This seemed like the right move for our very busy family.
This, however, isn't the first incident or act of vandalism reported. We've seen attack after attack after attack. Teslas set ablaze at the Las Vegas Service Center earlier this week, with the culprit leaving behind the word resist. In Oregon, shots were fired at a dealership, and in Massachusetts, charging stations were torched. These incidents have only intensified since CEO Elon Musk has taken a prominent role in the Trump administration while slashing government jobs and spending.
Felt so intentional, felt exactly what he was there to do.
There was even a website, now taken down, sharing the personal information of Tesla owners to pressure them to sell their vehicles.
If it was to align with what we thought, that it's easy to just, turn over a $60,000 car and find something new that works. That's not a decision that everybody can make overnight. And I think that puts a lot of us in a hard position.
Now, since being confronted, Lee says that she started taking the highways in order to feel more visible and avoid those back road stop signs. At the same time, though, she also tells me that she's made several reports regarding this incident. We're waiting to hear back if this individual is going to be facing any consequences.
Of course that individual won't, because it's Seattle. But anyway, yeah, attacking their own. That lady was obviously a Democrat, in my humble opinion, based on what she said. And that was the whole climate situation. Maybe she is a Republican. My guess is she isn't. Regardless, I like I said in a previous video, I think all of this is just backfiring on the left. And I've come across several videos of people talking about that, actually, how all of this is just pushing them further away from the left, pushing more and more people away from the left, because the left is showing exactly who they are. They accuse Republicans of being exactly what they are or what they're doing. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And I hope all of these folks are arrested. There's no place for this in American society. We can have our disagreements, absolutely. If you want to dislike me or dislike Elon or dislike Trump, by all means, go ahead, right? We don't like Biden, we don't like Kamala, but that doesn't mean that we wish death upon them, not at all. That doesn't mean that we want to harm anybody who supported them, not at all. It doesn't mean that we want to bother their lives. No, not at all. We might laugh at them when we see a bumper sticker or a sign in their front yard, but I've not once thought about keying somebody's car who had a Kamala sticker or, any Democrat memorabilia on their vehicle. Not once, or running over a sign, or damaging the home of someone or the vehicle of someone whose home had a Kamala sign in the yard. Not once. I might chuckle like, oh my goodness, these guys are idiots, kind of deal, and keep it pushing, but like not once have I been like, yeah, let me go key their car, let me go damage their property. Not one time, not once. But you see that all the time from the left, all the time, harassing Trump supporters, keying their vehicles, damaging their property, trying to basically get Trump supporters put 6 feet in the dirt by calling in these bogus calls, swatting. It's a dangerous situation, man. It really is. But part of me is happy that they're showing who they really are, because there's no more denying it. There's no more denying it. This is the left. This is the left. Point blank. But let me know what y'all think, man. Thanks for tuning in as always. Peace and love. I'm out.